This video is not meant for children and is brought to you by support from Patreon. Hello, and welcome back. I am Maester Aelix, and this is Stellaris Empires. And we are right back where we left off here on the Empire creation screen. And just a word to everyone out there, if you are enjoying this series, please remember to like these videos, leave a comment down below, perhaps even subscribe if you haven't. But of course, share these around to everyone who you think would like them. With that being said, let's start off. Alright. Today's fun and funny empire is the Clone Army origin, and this is a story-driven origin which has a diverging path, so you can go left or you can go right. There is definitely benefits to going one way or the other, and I'm not going to spoil that for you, but I am going to make a suggestion on how to play this one. So, first things first, appearance. I always enjoyed this Cyclops-looking guy, and so I had to pick it for something that was genetically engineered. And the idea that you have a soldier without binocular vision is kind of hilarious to me. It's like, yes, we get to, choose their genetics, and we choose to go one eye. It's hilarious, and I like it. Species names, they are the Monoclop, or Monoclops. Because psi means one? No, mono means one. They have one clop. Again, I'm being silly and kind of strange, but that's fine. Alright, name list. I went with the human CM, because, they are humanoids and could use some interesting names. Plus, Strike Force, Hydra, Cerberus, Hippogriff. For people who have enough power to genetically engineer another race, they're going to have, fancy pants names. Alright, now we're into traits, and now things are going to go. From our origin, we get Clone Soldier. Governing Ethics Attraction up 50%. Leader's Lifespan down 40%. Army Damage plus 50%. They cannot be genetically modified, and they do not reproduce naturally. Leaders from the species have additional traits and bonuses, so Army Damage and Leader traits are very important. I'm going to lean more into the Army Damage, because the Leader traits we got are really good. We're going to go very strong. Army damage plus 40%, plus work pop resource output plus 5%. That's a nice little bonus. We're going to go with sedentary. Pop growth from immigration, not really a thing. Resettlement cost, not really a thing. Natural sociologists. So, like I said, this is largely a story-driven thing, and we're going to want that society research. It's the one that the story relies on most, so this little bit of a boost, okay, 15% is more than a little, but this boost is really going to help. And deviance. The governing ethic attraction is well outpaced by this plus 50%, so this is basically free points, and there's no reason not to. We do have a spare trait pick, but this works out really good. If anything, I'd go more to like one of the leader traits, but I don't see the need. Okay, so for our homeworld, I went with Alaria. The star name is Alar, a random unitary 2, because, a single star, single eye, yes, I know. And then a dry, arid world, because I really like how the humanoid buildings go with this big mountain in the back. And, aesthetics, they're important, I swear. Alright. City appearance, of course, I mentioned we took the humanoid city, and room number 14, because I really like the big open window, but I also didn't want to do anything overly circular. Plus, I don't know, this thing in the back and the jars, probably something for a relic hunter, but this just looks right to me. Just military enough. You want to see what you're doing. Alright, the origin of Clone Army. A species of short-lived and infertile soldier clones exceptionally proficient in the matters of war, left masterless and alone for the question their engineered purpose and uncertain fate. So our homeworld starts with ancient clone vats, which is how we produce, and we can build them on other planets when we spread out. Our species trait has the clone soldier, which we went over before. We have the technology of cloning and gene banks, which is great. Pop growth speed 10%. Clone army, very nice. And we cannot have a good consciousness, we cannot have permanent employment, we cannot have natural design, and we cannot be machines. We have done none of these things, so we have kept this good. Alright. I went with a fanatic militarist because, obviously, we're clone soldiers. Military is what we do. And then I went with authoritarian because more worker pop resource output is nice. Plus, the additional monthly influence will be good when we start claiming other people's cultures as our own. It's like, no, we were looking at that. We looked at that star first. It's ours. And we will send our warriors to do so. Alright. And now our civics, where some of the more real fun comes in. Warrior culture. This society has developed into a hardy warrior culture. Martial prowess is valued above all else, and true glory can only be found in the field of battle. Entertainers become duelists. Duelists turn alloys into unity, amenities, and naval capacity. Yes. And replaces conserved fauna jobs with gladiatorial beast jobs. Also fun. Army damage plus 20%, war exhaustion minus 10%, and mercenary enclave capacity plus 1. All very good, combat-focused, army damage, greatness, plus entertainers turn alloys into unity, amenities, and naval capacity. All things we want. This is a perfect pick. And then, of course, the counselor position, arbiter of duels, output from duelists is up 10%. Why would we not want that? And then we have naturalistic zeal. A strong sense of naturalistic pride permeates all layers of this society. War exhaustion gain minus 20%, claim influence cost minus 15%, and diplomatic weight per rival is plus 5%. So, by going, I don't like you, other people like you more. How is this not a great choice? And then we have the council position of the standard bearer, empire effects. The naval capacity is up 1%. Now, both increased naval capacity, one through a roundabout way, one through direct way. I still like this better because it also produces unity and amenities, things we're going to want. I chose a dictatorial because the amenities usage is down 10%, the edict fund is up 10%, and the ruler experience gain is up 25%. And while we may not have long-lived rulers, having them gain traits faster is very, very good. I overrode the based on government with the soldier, obviously.
Hull integrity failing, decompression imminent. It's been an honor, Captain.
Oh no. Alright. We have the Univision Empire or the Empire. Love it. Our flag? I mean, come on, you see it too, right? It's a big eye. Big blue eye, red sclera, or is that the sclera? The red part on the outside, because if you look here, there's just a tiny bit of red, and that eye is indeed blue, and while I would normally put it white, the ships are why I went with red, because the red is where the lights are, and this looks so much more menacing when they're red. Plus, the humanoid ships are just simultaneously pointy and round. So, roundy bits, we have one eye. We have a spherical thing going on. However, we are still very military, so we gotta have enough pointiness. So, come on. Plus, the red lights, that looks so good. Looks so good. Alright, I named our ruler Sauron, because one big eye. I know. The ruler is the All-Seer, and here's how people hear us. Yeah. I went with clothing number 4 because of the outfit looks really good in rustic military. And color variant 4, no real reason. I mean, I kind of wanted to do 2 because he looks like Drax, but I ended up sticking with 4. I don't know, the green just kind of fits in. I don't know, it's what called to me at the time. And for our ruler trait, I went with Logistic Understanding. Dock ship upkeep is minus 5%, and army upkeep is down 10%. We're going to have ships, and we're going to have armies. Better save ourselves some upkeep on that, because, yes, please. And our leader is a commander. And if you were to go back to our, not traits, but government and ethics, both need a counselor. So, or sorry, commander, for their counselor traits. Alright, so let's save this and get a game going so I can show you how I like to start these guys off. We were made for war. Engineered soldiers who live and die by the ancient clone vats left behind by our creators, forever cast in their mold. Any memory of our masters is lost to past generations, and we do not know when or why they left us. It's likely that records were routinely erased, ever faithful to military protocol. But at some point in recent centuries that changed. By chance, or perhaps by some misfiring survival instinct, our subconscious drove us to seek answers, to seek new purpose, and ways to break the form imposed on us. Our efforts since have been ceaseless, at long last granting us access to the grand expanse of space. Our horizon widens, so too must our knowledge broaden, and our chances of breaking free increase. We shall not squander the possibilities given to us by our forebearers. We shall fight to pass these possibilities to future clones, and fight to eliminate the restrictions placed on us. So yeah, that is a really cool and really dramatic reading, and I really enjoy how this starts. As usual, no particular research needed at the start. I'm just going to get everything going, just kind of automated to start, and I will talk about where we want to put our efforts and future in a moment. Alright, now we come up to the traditions panel. So, one thing that was obvious is that we get a bonus for having rivals. So obviously enmity is one thing we want, because this is all about having more better rivals. You know, damage to rivals, per rival. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I wouldn't do that first, however. Now, all of these, again, all the traditions are good, but some are better in certain circumstances. And to start, I would probably go with prosperity, because all of these things are really good at the beginning, and the clone vats are going to be a bit expensive to make, and it's the only way our population reproduces. So when we expand, we're going to be more worried about that building as opposed to the people. So that's one thing to keep in mind. This is how our pops grow. You know, growing, none. Assembling, yes. And again, prosperity is where I would start, because it's a good land-based construction effort. And then once we start getting more enemies out there, more rivals, and start going to war a little bit more easily, then go into enmity. Alright, because it's the first one, I'm going to spoil just this first bit of it. The story starts with debated origin. Now, if you want to pause and read, you can, but once you get this, and you see it came in 2203 in like August, here's where things are going to start having you make decisions, and well, it's up to you. But at first, it's going to have unity down by 20% and happiness down by 5%. But there are ways around that. But keep checking in with the story. I'm sure you'll figure out what to do. And of course, this leads to the archaeological site Homeworld Excavation. So keep that in mind too. Alright, so we got our first colony, and first thing I'm going to do is put down these clone vats so we can actually have a population grow. Now that we have prosperity done, we get our ascension perk, and all honesty, feel free to do combat on this one. You know, I normally lean towards Mastery of Nature, One Vision, Technological Ascendancy, and all that, but Interstellar Dominion's great. Lords of War is great. I'm not a big fan of the nihilistic acquisition. But hey, you do you. I'm going to go Lord of War on this one. Again, more mercenary enclaves and more diplomatic weight from fleet power. And while I don't have a hell of a lot of fleet power right now, oh, that'll change, because as you see, our capacity keeps going up. Also, now that I have your attention again, make sure you put your duelist on focus, because that will help. Since this is largely story-driven, and I don't really need you to hear me tell you the whole story or have me hold your hand, go play this, make your own decisions. I've told you how I would start this out, and what things we need to do. This can be a really great, heavy combat, fun group, and if played right, you very easily could do cosmogenesis and become everyone else's problem. This is a great one to do with that because of the other focuses you build. So just remember, keep your mind on combat, and you should succeed. So, here's where I'm going to say thank you all for joining me. I really hope you're enjoying this series as much as I'm enjoying making it for all of you. If you do, you know what to do, and that's to like, comment, and of course share these videos around. Watch 5 or 6 more of them to show the algorithm you really do enjoy it. And of course subscribe. It's a little click for you, but a little click for me. Or it's a little click for you, but a really big deal for me. And I greatly appreciate everyone who does. And speaking of people I appreciate, let me go mention my patrons. With that being said, I shall see you all on the next one. And I'd like to give a special shout out to all my patrons who help make these videos possible. Aaron Smith, Brian Pelfrey, Chris Armstrong, Dennis Detman, Harry Thompson, and Mark Milius. Thank you all so much for your contributions. I wouldn't have this channel without you. Thank you very much.